Hey everybody, welcome to 3 Minute Coach, coming to you from Singapore tonight. Just got in after finishing a week of teaching in Indonesia on the island of Java, getting ready to take a couple days of rest and relaxation before heading to Nepal to trek the road to Everest with One Seat Expeditions. So another TDG adventure, but there's more stories about that coming later. This week, you know what, as we kind of were talking to secondary schools and we got to speak at the one of the largest Islamic universities in Salatiga, Indonesia, we did, at the end of every workshop, every strengths-based leadership and communication workshop I asked people to submit questions. And so we kind of did a hashtag AMA, Ask Me Anything. One of the common questions that came up actually in multiple campuses was, as we were talking about using your strengths and trying to be effective and be the best version of you, students started asking a lot of questions of, that's great, but how do we deal with failure? Now, I've kind of touched on this before a couple different times, but honestly, I think it's something critical to all of us, and I thought I'd kind of readdress it again. When it comes to failure, having had the chance to answer that question a few times this week, I think it's really important. First of all, you have to start by believing that you're not special just because you fail. Most people think that success in business, in education, in life, in whatever endeavor it is that you're trying to do to reach the world is based on figuring out how to do it so well that you don't fail. That's not true. I fail as much as anybody, and if you ask people who succeed, the trick is not in failure. The trick is in knowing how to try again no matter how hard you fail. But there's a couple different things I want to bring up to you. The first thing, I think failure really hits us when in the moment of failure, we start to compare our performance to others. Instead of dealing with the failure itself, we instantly let the failure be a measure of, look at us, we're not good enough. So the first thing when you're dealing with failure is stop comparing. You are different than other people. You're unique. Be unique. Be who you are. Comparison, I think if it was Roosevelt or somebody's a famous old quote that says comparison is the thief of joy. It's also the thief of being able to get over your problems. So first one, stop comparing your performance to others. Be the best you can be. Do what you can do. I wrote a blog a couple weeks ago where I'm talking about being a fool. Sometimes you're the only fool there. Make the best decisions you can, even if you're a fool. Who cares? Stop comparing. Second thing, don't shame yourself. The problem you're dealing with, the failure you're dealing with, the challenge you're facing is hard enough. To deal with the shame as well, that's even worse. And so, in fact, I wrote another blog a couple weeks ago about shame and guilt. And what's the challenge is that we often confuse feeling guilty about things we've done for feeling shame over things we've done or things that haven't worked. See, guilt means it's action-based. If you're feeling guilty about something, you're feeling guilty about stealing a candy bar, stop stealing, you'll stop feeling guilty. But see, we confuse that with shame. You do something that doesn't work out. You start a project, and so we confuse shame is about being, guilt is about action. Now you can stop acting a certain way, but you can't stop being. When you start feeling shame, and the difference is, I failed, not because of my action, but I'm just not good enough. I'm a bad person. I'm not worthy of success. When it comes to failure, the first thing that kind of trips us up is our comparison. The second thing is when we start to shame, instead of thinking about action. When you're dealing with failure, deal with action. And also, the third thing, I guess, is stop dealing in hypotheticals. There is no other moment. There's the moment you chose. There's the thing you've done. Whatever you've done. There is no going back. So do not waste a moment saying, in some alternate reality, in some alternate universe, I could have done something different. No, you did what you did. You've got what you've got. Now, what choices are you going to take? Don't compare. Don't shame. Deal in reality, not in the hypothetical you wish. I guess the last one, surround yourself by people who believe that you're strong enough to get up again. The biggest thing that keeps us down when we fail is the belief that we aren't enough. And a lot of times telling ourselves that we are enough isn't enough. We need to surround ourselves with people who believe we can actually do it. There's an old saying, 9 out of 10 businesses fail, start 10. We need people in our lives who, instead of saying, maybe we should just quit, they actually believe. They help us find the uniqueness. They help us change our strategy. But they help us believe, first and foremost, that we are genius without comparison, that without shame, and then we know how to take actions and deal in reality, not hypotheticals of what we wish reality were. That's 3 Minute Coach for this week. If you have something you'd like to talk about, please shoot me an email at michael@thedophnigroup.com or make a comment to this Facebook page or YouTube video. Join me tomorrow for Theme Thursday. I'll also be doing that from here in Singapore. Look forward to talking to you guys then. Until then, have a great night. Take care of yourself. Lead courageously.